Hey everyone, my name is Dillon Gonzalez. I'm the editorial director of GeekVibesNation.com and the co-host of the Home Dance Film Festival podcast. And welcome to a brand new episode of No Streaming Required, your weekly deep dive into all the latest and greatest in the world of physical media. Happy holidays to everyone. As you see, I am very much into the holiday spirit, and I wanted to prepare for the upcoming gift giving time by giving you a holiday gift guide. I want to give the gift of physical media to everyone. So I'm going to be going through pretty much every label I can think of, pick a few titles that I think are interesting, and maybe that'll apply to someone in your life, and maybe you can give the gift of physical media. So I'm going to be going through a ton of titles. It won't be as much of a deep dive as normal. If you want that, you can return again next week. A lot of these titles we've talked about in the past, so if you want more exploration of any title, look back through our archives, go to geekvibesnation.com. I've maybe done a written review of these, but this is just basically a reminder of just all of the great titles that came out this year that particularly spoke to me. So I think no better way to start this off with one of the best major studio labels in the physical media game right now, and that is Sony, because they are pretty much perfection when it comes to restorations and digging into their catalog. And one that I was excited that they revisited this year was A League of Their Own on 4K. It's the classic Penny Marshall movie in 4K with Dolby Vision. Looks fantastic. I don't think anyone will be disappointed if they see this under the tree. They also did a new to 4K release of the 1994 classic Little Women. Winona Ryder, Susan Sarandon, Claire Danes, Kirsten Dunst in Dolby Vision, newly restored from the 4K restoration of the original camera negative, just in time for the 30th anniversary. So if you're a fan of this one, make sure to check out the 4K. Next up, we have the 4K debut domestically of Drive. This is a steelbook, Ryan Gosling classic, cool as hell. This is a great 4K with Dolby Vision, tons of new special features and archival special features. Great release. Digging into the TV side of things, we have the Apple TV Plus original series, Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, Season 1. So this is the first season. You got a couple discs in here, all episodes here of the Apple TV Plus season on Blu-ray. I'm glad they gave this a physical release. It's a lot of fun. Going to Sony Pictures Classics. This is kind of an unheralded gem. This is Crush. Here we got Andie MacDowell, Imelda Staunton, ladies who getting into a sticky situation and at a school that they teach at, and just kind of the drama that emerges from that. I'll leave it at that. You can research if you want. Going way back to the silent era, we have The Blood Ship. This is an interesting tale of mutiny against a horrible captain who is making everyone's lives miserable. This is a fantastic restoration of a silent era movie. Sony always does top tier restoration work, and this is no different. So The Blood Ship is one to keep on your radar for anyone who's a fan of the silent era. And we cannot forget about the amazing work that Sony has done in the box set realm. So if you have a little bit more money in your bank account, we have two Columbia Classic set. We have Volume 4 here, which had the likes of His Girl Friday, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Kramer vs. Kramer, Starman, Sleepless in Seattle, and Punch Drunk Love. So 6 films in fantastic packaging, top tier 4K restorations all around. And we were lucky enough to get 2 volumes of that. So we also have Volume 5 here, which I just talked about recently on the channel. And here we have All the King's Men, On the Waterfront, A Man for All Seasons, Tootsie, The Age of Innocence, and the 2019 Little Women. So Little Women ×2, that's the one with that Greta Gerwig directed with Saoirse Ronan and Laura Dern. Lots of great people. Fantastic release. I love the Columbia Classic sets. They're always one of my favorite releases of the year. And then we have a new epic box set that I have not talked about yet, but it is pretty amazing. It is the Frank Capra at Columbia set. This is a thick mamma jamma here, And as you can see here, it is 20 movies on Blu-ray, which 9 of them are also on 4K. You have, this kind of opens up here. You get all these discs here. And just some notable titles that we have here. We have Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, It Happened One Night, Lost Horizon, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Platinum Blonde. Tons of great titles. Many of them in 4K, all of them restored, all of them looking great. There's a mixture of silent era titles and just like mainstream, like crowd pleasers. Frank Capra was one of the best to ever do it. So to have such a large chunk of his work represented in such a beautiful box set, tons of special features, lovingly restored. Frank Capra at Columbia is one of the gems of the year by far. And speaking of Frank Capra, we go over to ClassicFlix for another one of his films, not in this big set, but another one still worth owning, is Meet John Doe with Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck. This has been newly restored and released by ClassicFlix. So if you're already on a Frank Capra high, this one is worth getting. And this one is also a Christmas movie, so definitely seasonally appropriate. And ClassicFlix also released The Abbott and Costello Show Season 2 earlier this year. It is a great continuation from the Season 1 set, which I also really love. Such a funny show, great time for any fan of Abbott and Costello. Heading over to Disney, we were lucky enough for them to dig a little bit into their catalog this year with 2 M. Night Shyamalan films. So we had the 4K release of The Sixth Sense and Signs, both in HDR10, both well worth upgrading to 4K from their old Blu-ray releases if you're a Shyamalan fan. We also had them getting some titles from their Disney Plus output. So we have 2 Star Wars shows. We have Ahsoka Season 1 on 4K, and we also have Season 3 of The Mandalorian on 4K. So those are both in Dolby Vision, and we also have 2 from the Marvel side. We have Hawkeye Season 1 here, and then we also have Loki Season 2 here. So if you're a Marvel fan, a Star Wars fan, these are all great Dolby Vision presentations. For those who want them in their collection, you will not be disappointed. Heading over to the Criterion Collection, I recently talked about the 4K release of Paper Moon from Peter Bogdanovich. This one is lovely, and the 4K presentation is great. We also have the International Feature nominee, Perfect Days, from earlier this year. This is from Wim Wenders, and it is also lovely. It's a Japanese story, and it is a great 4K presentation. One of my favorite box sets from Criterion Collection is the Osamin Simbin collection here. This is a great release for anyone who is interested in African cinema. Definitely worth checking that out. Going over slightly to France, we have Eric Rohmer's Tales of the Four Seasons. This one is fantastic. I grow a little bit more in love with Rohmer with every movie that I watch from him. And then finally, for the Criterion Collection, we have Barry Jenkins' release of The Underground Railroad on Blu-ray. This is a great mini-series, definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of Barry Jenkins. Going to a label I don't get to speak about a lot, but Dark Force Entertainment released the 4K of Mirror Mirror. This is an interesting early 90s horror film in 4K with Dolby Vision. It looks really nice. It's a great presentation from them, and it has a commentary track. Heading over to Severin, we have a very impressive box set with the Game of Clones Bruceploitation box set here. Has a ton of Bruceploitation movies that have been restored to the best of their abilities. Tons and tons of special features. If you like Bruce Lee knockoffs, this one is the set to get. We have an interesting set. The Scala is a documentary about a interesting movie palace and all the weird stuff that was shown at it and how influential it was. Good for fans of like genre cinema that wants to get a little bit of history into it. Severin has done a nice package here. We also have the Wild 2020 Texas Gladiators. This is a 4K release here. You can see you can get a little bit of a sense of that there. Severin has done a very nice job on this 4K release. And another one for the genre fans. We have Dario Argento's Deep Cuts. Lots of interesting odds and ends here from Argento's career on 4-disc. So if you're a fan of Argento, do not miss this one. Going over to Blue Underground, we have 2 4K releases I want to highlight. We have Death Dream, which is one from director Bob Clark that is definitely worth checking out. And then we also have Enzo Castellari's High Crime with Franco Nero, another great 4K restoration, great Italian crime film that I think will be very fun for any genre enthusiast. Heading over to A24, exclusively at the A24 shop, we have a new release and a 4K upgrade of an older release. The new release, the fantastic, in my top 10, I Saw the TV Glow on Blu-ray, one of the best films of the year by far, and you want to own this on Blu-ray. But A24 also did a 4K upgrade for Darren Aronofsky's Pi. It's a trippy movie in great 4K, Dolby Vision, restored, looks fantastic. Darren Aronofsky fans they were treated right with this release. Keeping with A24, but heading over to our Lionsgate section, we have the 4K release of Civil War. This is Alex Garland starring Kirsten Dunst. It was one of the bigger A24 movies this year. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It is also in my top of the year. So make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. Sticking with A24 over at Lionsgate, we have a 2023 leftover from Dream Scenario. This came out in February, but it is a lot of fun if you don't have it in your collection yet. If it's Nicolas Cage, what if Nicolas Cage just started popping up in your dreams? How would that, like everyone's dreams around the world, and how that kind of goes awry. It's wild, it's fun. Sticking with Lionsgate, we have the 4K release of Kill. If you want something super violent, just action, this is crazy. It's really good. This is a steelbook version. There's also a standard 4K version depending on what kind of packaging you appreciate. So definitely check that out. And we have recently released the Halle Berry horror film Never Let Go from Alexandra Aja, who is probably best known from doing High Tension or Crawl or The Hills Have Eyes remake. This one was slept on when it came out earlier in September. It's pretty creepy. It's effective. It's very much worth checking out. Halle Berry is fantastic as always, so make sure that don't let it keep being slept on. Worth checking out for sure. Going over to Magnolia, they put out a documentary recently that I found pretty interesting. That is Yoshiki Under the Sky. This one features a lot of musical performances with Yoshiki, with a lot of notable artists, including the Chainsmokers, St. Vincent, the Scorpions, Six Tones, Jane Zhang, Lindsey Sterling, Nicole Scherzinger. Lots of great artists on here and some beautiful performances. If you're into this type of music, definitely check it out. Heading over to 88 Films, another epic box set, one of my favorite of the year. This is Jackie Chan's Project A collection, comprising the 2 Project A films in 4K, restored, tons of special features, lovely packaging from 88 Films. They've done these movies right. An understated gem from 88 Films is Shishir, Beauty of Beauties. This is more of a palace intrigue tale that I found very interesting and a little bit of an interesting diversion from some of the more standard martial arts flicks. So 88 Films exposed me to something very interesting with this one. but a lot more along the lines of standard martial arts. But this one had a little bit of a twist that was fun. The shadow boxing. So this one dealt with vampires, undead people being led around, and plenty of martial arts fighting, and it's wild, it's fun. If you like a little bit of a supernatural twist on martial arts, the shadow boxing, definitely worth checking out. Heading over to the land of Arrow Video, always one of my favorite lands to visit, we have the highly anticipated, much desired release of A Simple Plan on 4K. This made the jump to 4K from DVD. There's also a Blu-ray version available. Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, crime goes awry. It's great. I love it. 4K presentation, pretty much flawless. Dolby Vision, great release, long anticipated. Reversible cover art there. Also, a box set, a mixture of 4K and Blu-ray. We have the Mexico trilogy from Robert Rodriguez. So that means you get El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Desperado is the only one on 4K. The other two are Blu-ray only. But this is a great set, great special features. If you're a Robert Rodriguez fan, make sure to check this one out. Desperado is especially looking fantastic on 4K. Another really great upgrade from Arrow, a 4K upgrade of American Gigolo from Paul Schrader. This is Richard Gere going down a weird and wild path of being set up for a crime and trying to get out of it. So American Gigolo has been treated with extreme care by Arrow Video. It really needed a 4K upgrade, and they delivered 4K restoration, Dolby Vision, tons of special features. Get it. Awesome release. They also did a 4K upgrade of Trick or Treat. So if you have a horror fan in your life who loves Sam over here, this is a really good 4K presentation in Dolby Vision. Lovely release. It has all the archival special features and new special features. This is packed. Great release. And then also another DVD to 4K upgrade. I love when they do that. We have Narc. This is presented with a Dolby Vision, new Dolby Atmos track, and in the original audio track. We have a whole disc of special features. Great Ray Liotta performance. This is just a fantastic crime film. A fantastic debut from Joe Carnahan. Arrow always comes to play near the end of the year, and they definitely did with their latest installment of Shawscope. This is Shawscope Volume 3, 14 Shaw Brothers films, lovingly restored, given the best presentation possible. This is just an epic release. Got a huge booklet here, all the films here, 14 films. It's an epic set. Every time these Shawscope sets deliver, this is no different. If you have been loving this series, these have some of the best titles to date here. So make sure to check that one out. If you're a Shaw Brothers fan, Arrow has really, really stepped up. Heading over to Paramount, we have some fantastic releases. We had the long-awaited 4K upgrade of Galaxy Quest. This is in a nice steelbook release here. This is long been desired by fans of this sci-fi comedy. Tim Allen, Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver, this is the Star Trek movie that people always wanted that wasn't quite Star Trek. So Galaxy Quest, a lot of fun in Dolby Vision, newly restored. We also, earlier this year, got the 4K debut of Chinatown, the Jack Nicholson classic from Roman Polanski. We don't talk about him, but great release from Paramount. So make sure to get Chinatown if you can find it. We also have Bringing Out the Dead from Martin Scorsese, another debut on 4K from the DVD era. This has Nicolas Cage, great release, and from 4K. We also have the Will Ferrell comedy classic, in my eyes, Anchorman. This has the theatrical cut on 4K, the extended cut on Blu-ray, tons of special features. Really great release of this one. Make sure to check it out. We also have the Blu-ray debut of I Love Lucy. So we get the entire I Love Lucy run and the Lucy show as well. So we have 9 seasons of material, 194 episodes, tons of special features, now on Blu-ray. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. I know it's one of my wife's favorite shows. So make sure to check this out if you're a fan of this as well. If you are a fan of the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, you will definitely want to check out Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 1. This is a nice continuation of that property with that art style and just that kind of world. So if you want to continue living in that, check this out. This was a Paramount Plus show, now on Blu-ray. It looks fantastic on Blu-ray. Paramount is also celebrating the 10th anniversary of Christopher Nolan's Interstellar on 4K. So this is a deluxe collector's edition pack here. Comes out here. Tons of goodies and 4K disc and all kinds of just fun things for those who want the most elaborate packaging possible for this movie. It has a new disc of special features. I think fans of the film, if you get it, you will enjoy this set. We also got another impressive set earlier this year. We had the second installment of Paramount Scares. So this is Volume 2. You got Orphan First Kill. You got Friday the 13th Part 2. World War Z. You have Breakdown. So some good titles in here. If you're a horror fan, thriller fan, Paramount has done a nice job on this once again. Heading over to our friends at ETR Media, we have some interesting documentary content. We have Power of Grayskull, the complete history of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So if you know a He-Man fan in your life, get them this documentary. They will love you. It's a great breakdown of the entire franchise. Definitely check that one out. Also, if you have a video game fan in your life who also loves like geek culture, check out the Slopes Game Room cult movies, shows, and classic comics. So these are video games based on like classic IP, like the RoboCop versus Terminator game, Saw, The Evil Dead, Alien versus Predator, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is a great YouTube series that dives deep and just gives a nice examination of all these titles. Lots of great special features on here as well. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And speaking of Galaxy Quest earlier with that 4K debut, if you don't have enough special features on there, make sure to check out Never Surrender, the Galaxy Quest documentary. So this is a feature-length documentary where you have a whole slew of people from the film and famous fans and real-life everyday fans delving into what makes Galaxy Quest so special. So if you don't get enough from the 4K release, check out Never Surrender. It's a really fun documentary. One of my favorite films of the year I discovered on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome and in association with Yellow Veil Pictures. This is Riddle of Fire. This one is fantastic. This is about a group of kids who go on a quest to make a pie for their mom, and it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. Very idiosyncratic, but just a joy to watch. It's just really stuck with me, and it is one of my favorites. So Riddle of Fire from Vinegar Syndrome. Check it out. I give my fullest recommendation for this. Speaking of the Vinegar Syndrome family, going over to Cinematographé, we have their release of Go Fish. This is a great queer rom-com from the 90s, black and white. If you love someone who likes groundbreaking queer cinema, Go Fish is quite a fun release. Also, a release that many never expected to actually be released because of rights issue finally got cleared up this year, and that is Little Darlings. This was the first release from Cinematographé, and it definitely kicked off the line in a grand fashion. 4K, terrific 4K restoration. The original music included great special features, Little Darlings, great summer camp film. Love it so much. Going over to Film Movement Classics, we have The Poetry of Lee Chang-dong. This is a 4-film set with Green Fish, Peppermint Candy, Oasis, and Poetry. Lee Chang-dong is one of the great Korean filmmakers, and his films are definitely worth checking out, newly restored from Film Movement Classics. We also have the Red Peony Gambler series 1 through 3. If you want to see a badass lady just like going around serving up justice, this will do you right. And then we also have, from filmmaker Jessica Hausner, from the Film Movement line, we have Hotel. This is an eerie little film about just like an off in the woods hotel and the weird stuff that happens around the grounds. I really like this movie. It was a great discovery, so make it a great discovery for you or someone in your life. Hotel is a lot of fun. Going over to Well Go USA, we have Last Stop in Yuma County. This one is a fun little thriller set in a diner where a robbery is taking place. Some robbers end up at a diner and chaos ensues. So Jim Cummings, a lot of great people in here. This one is a great watch, so check it out if you are interested in it at all. We also have, for modern Western fans, we have Ghosts of Red Ridge. So this one is more of a low budget effort, but is very entertaining. If you're a Western fan, I think you will definitely be treated right with this one. Going over to Altered Innocence, we have some good releases from them. We have the Ozon's triple feature, Francois Ozon's transgressive triple feature. So this one has Sitcom, Criminal Lovers, and Water Drops on Burning Rocks. If you have someone who is a bit of a freak, and I say that lovingly, Ozon's transgressive triple, great queer cinema, love it so much, a lot of fun with this one. Taboos shattered all around, but definitely worth checking out. We also have a minor cult hit, The People's Joker. This one got a lot of buzz this year for its threat of lawsuits, but this is definitely the best Joker film that was released this year. And it is packed with special features. Check it out. The Altered Innocence is all about like queer cinema and stuff. So if you are into queer cinema, definitely check this one out. This one has a nice entry point into it. And same with the final film from that label, and that is She Is Conan. This one is a wild take on the classic Conan the Barbarian tale. It goes into some very interesting spaces and definitely worth checking out if you're interested. One of my very favorite labels is Deaf Crocodile, and they put out some great releases. One of my favorite releases, new or old, from this year is Kinzaza. This one was from when they were still under the OCN distribution family. It is being newly released in a deluxe edition you can find like from Diabolic if you go to Diabolic DVD. But this release, get it somehow. If you're a fan of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or anything like that, this is a great sci-fi tale. It's very, very interesting. Very much worth checking out. You also have a newer film. We have World War III. This is a great modern drama, satire. I don't want to spoil the surprises, but definitely check this out. It's a very layered movie and has a lot of like Hitchcockian twists and turns. The first title from whenever Deaf Crocodile left OCN and branched out on their own and started making beautiful deluxe editions, we have The Savage Hunt of King Stock. This is a great gothic movie, very much worth checking out, and on Blu-ray, restored lovingly, really great release. And also a notable release from Deaf Crocodiles, their first 4K release this year was Trapped Ashes. This is an anthology film from some of the biggest horror directors of the past. We have Sean Cunningham, Ken Russell, Joe Dante, Monty Hellman, John Gatta. Lots of great horror people doing some interesting work in the anthology format with Trapped Ashes. Heading over to our friends at Shout Factory and Scream Factory, it have a very robust release slate this year, so I'm going to highlight a lot of stuff from them. One of the most exciting of which is Mike Flanagan's release of Hush on 4K, rescued from Netflix, released on 4K. One of the most exciting releases. Multiple cuts of the film, different audio options, tons and tons of special features. One of the releases of the year. We have the 4K upgrade, seasonally appropriate, Silent Night, Deadly Night on 4K. Tons and tons of special features here. The feature in 4K, great for your holiday viewing. We have a Viggo Mortensen with Vicky Creeps. This is The Dead Don't Hurt. This is a very dramatic and intriguing Western tale. One of my favorite 4K releases of this year was one that I've been hoping for a while. This is Doomsday from Neil Marshall. It is, some people call it a bit of a messy movie, but I love it. It's very genre hopping. There's a little bit of a zombie film. There's medieval knights. We have like a little bit of Mad Max flair. There's a lot of stuff going on. I love it. It's excess incarnate. Doomsday on 4K. You got the theatrical cut on 4K, tons of special features, 3 discs, great release. We also have John Carpenter's remake of Village of the Damned. Any Carpenter on 4K is worth noting. So if you're a John Carpenter fan, Scream Factory's done a nice job with this remake in Dolby Vision. Speaking of remakes, we have Ryan Reynolds' Amityville Horror remake. This one is actually pretty solid, pretty creepy. I saw this one in theaters. It was great to revisit on 4K. This is definitely the way to own it if you're going to own it. We also have the sequel, Poltergeist 2 on 4K. We got the original Poltergeist last year from Warner Brothers on 4K, so I'm glad to have the sequel treated so well. 4K restoration of the original camera negative in Dolby Vision with Dolby Atmos. Lots of great special features. Really great release. For action thriller fans, we have Rolling Thunder. This one's on 4K. This one is for the dads, for sure. But anyone who likes action, check out Rolling Thunder. It's a really fun time. 4K restoration. So we already have the original RoboCop on 4K from Arrow Video, but we also got some more RoboCop films this year from Scream Factory and Shout Factory. RoboCop 2 on 4K. So we got the sequel. We're keep chugging along here. Been treated very well with special features and 4K scanning of the original camera negative. And a little bit more controversial, but still worth checking out for its own flavor of this story. The remake of RoboCop from the 2010s, I believe this was 2014. It's worth checking out just for another take on the material. It's never going to reach the original, but as its own thing, pretty interesting sci-fi film. We have the Robert Zemeckis comedy horror film, Death Becomes Her, with Meryl Streep. And Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis on 4K, restored from the original 35mm original camera negative in Dolby Vision. All the original special features here. Really great release for this comedy classic. We also have the 4K release of The Stepfather with Terry O'Quinn, the original film that made a generation of kids afraid of who their parents were going to remarry. We have the 4K trilogy, Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Trilogy. So this is all 3 Bill and Ted films. So we have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, and Bill and Ted Face the Music, all in 4K, restored, Dolby Vision, great releases. One of the biggest shows on right now is Arcane League of Legends. We got the first season on 4K earlier this year. Looks great in Dolby Vision. All the season 1 episodes. Fantastic release. We also have from Anime Limited in association with Shout Factory, we have The Great Pretender. This is the complete series here. Really nice collector's edition set with all kinds of bells and whistles. Great anime like heist series. This one's a lot of fun. We have 2 epic releases from the Jim Henson Company. First off, we have the 4K release of The Dark Crystal in Dolby Vision. This is the deluxe set, which you can get your own like crystal here. You can kind of see that here, and plus the film and all kinds of special features here that you can see here on the back. Great release for The Dark Crystal, and they did a similar release for Labyrinth. So we got that here. We got another 4K set that you can open up. You got the ball, the crystal ball here. You can get a replica of that, and the movie in 4K with Dolby Vision. Tons of special features. Really deluxe set. If you're a fan of either of these movies, these packages are like a collector's dream. Going over to Cohen Media Group, we have the heartfelt drama Nowhere Special. It's a father-son drama. It's quite sad, but very emotionally rewarding. We also have the newly restored Roseland from the Merchant Ivory Group. This is great. It has Christopher Walken. It's a tale of interpersonal relationships set in a ballroom dancing establishment. It's really nice. Over from Decal Releasing, we have from Neon Longlegs, another Nicolas Cage joint, one of the surprise indie horror films of the year on 4K. Check it out if you're a fan of the film. The 4K release is great. We also have the Weird and Wild Sasquatch Sunset. I love this. This is a group of Sasquatch family just existing, all the trials and tribulations. Jesse Eisenberg stars. This, you'll never see him, but just like he's great performance. Weird, wild movie. Check it out. Heading over to Eureka. We have the martial arts film, The Sword. It's a kind of love letter to wushu films. Just great swordplay, martial arts, great stuff here with the sword. We have Chang Che's Horrible History, 4 epics that depict different events in Hong Kong history. Definitely worth looking out after. Some interesting films here from one of the great directors. And then we have a 4K release from Eureka, The Valiant Ones. This one is from director King Hu, one of the greats. Great 4K release from Eureka. They treat this one really nicely. I love King Hu, and if you have someone who is a fan, this release will make them very happy. And then something a little bit different from Eureka, Super Spies and Secret Lives. So still steeped in the world of Asian cinema, but a little bit more like fun and spy driven and just like a lot of subterfuge, all that kind of stuff. It's a couple different films in here. Both of them very fun, or all 3 of them very fun. So you get the Golden Buddha, Angel with the Iron Fist, and the Singing Thief. So 3 films, very much worth adding to your collection. Heading over to Fun City editions, one release that really stood out to me earlier this year was Seeing Red, 3 vigilante thrillers. So you have Shot Pattern, Street of the Damned, and The Blacklist. These are wonderful and very much worth checking out from Fun City editions. You also have one of my favorites, Heavenly Bodies. If you like the idea of dance aerobics competition films, Heavenly Bodies is 80s greatness. I love it. And finally from the label, we have Bad Company starring Jeff Bridges here. This is a great kind of neo-Western tale. It's very interesting, very much worth checking out. Great restoration. I seek out any and all Jeff Bridges films, so this one's definitely worth putting on your radar. Going over to MVD Entertainment, we have the documentary 1982, The Greatest Geek Year Ever. This is about a 3-hour-long documentary that gets all into geekdom. So many great properties were established this year of 1982. And there's so many fantastic subjects here interviewed from those projects. This one, great release, and great special features as well that gives you even more interviews with some of the subjects. We also have the Rescued Linguini Incident with David Bowie and Roseanne Arquette. This is a newly edited version of the movie from the director. The original version is included as a special feature in standard definition, but this new version, it really does a really great job with this one. It's a fun kind of caper, comedy caper with these two great performers. We also have the 4K upgrade of Ghoulies 2. If you love the Ghoulies franchise, this is a great release. This has finally gotten newly restored in 4K, Dolby Vision, great release. Another fantastic label, Radiance Films. One that really stood out to me was Chow Pantine. This is a unique buddy dramedy, revenge and friendship and stuff. Good work. We also have Slap the Monster on Page 1. This is a great political thriller about government corruption and newspapers and all kinds of stuff. And we have the trilogy Die Gothic. So these are 3 Gothic horror films. So you have Ghost of the Yeshua, The Snow Woman, and The Bride from Hades. So all of those 3, a nice thick booklet, great release from Radiance Films. Heading over to one of the most prolific labels that I'm talking about, we're talking about Kino Lorber. They release just like hundreds of titles every year, so it's hard to pare down exactly which ones I wanted to speak about, but I try to get a nice cross section. The first one I was a nice discovery from the Kino Lorber like new releases side from our release earlier this year, The Falling Star. This is a bizarre, surreal tale that's a comedy. It's, if you kind of like just oddball tales, Falling Star really spoke to me. More straightforward, the 4K release of Sudden Death. So you have Jean-Claude Van Damme at a hockey rink with terrorists. Fantastic, fun time. 4K upgrade of Brokeback Mountain, Ang Lee at his best. Queer love story, Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger, beautiful presentation, beautiful movie. We have the Abel Ferrara 4K of Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. Very upsetting in a good way, very impactful crime film. A very unlikable lead character who just wants redemption, but can he get it? Who knows? 4K release from Abel Ferrara. We have one of the most ambitious releases from the label was Death Machine. Several different cuts of this sci-fi tale, lots of special features, multiple commentary tracks, just lots of different ways to watch this film that they really put a lot of effort into with this release. One release that surprised the hell out of me because I did not expect to love it and it ended up being one of my favorite upgrades of the year. This is Paint Your Wagon, so with Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood. A musical western. It's goofy. I loved it. It's so much fun. Shout out to the Dark Side of Cinema film noir sets. So this is just one that you can buy. They released like 5 or 6 new ones this year. This is one of my favorites. This particular one has The Enforcers, The Scarlet Hour, and Plunder Road. But if you have a film noir fan in your life, find out which ones they don't have and make sure to get them one because the film noir Dark Side of Cinema sets are really great. We also have the early 2000s movie Pray for Rock and Roll. If you want to see Gina Gershon play a musician and get into dramatic situations, you are all set. This is fun. You have the documentary Daytime Revolution, where John and Yoko took over a daytime show for a week and what kind of emerged from that scenario. We have The Return of Andie MacDowell with Harrison's Flowers. This is about a woman who goes into a war zone to try to find her husband, who everyone believes is dead, but she believes is still alive. You have Ray Bradbury's adaptation, The Martian Chronicles. This is a mini-series, runs about 5 hours long, in 3 parts. This one, Rock Hudson stars. It's a array of different tales but this one is very interesting, and it finally got a Blu-ray release domestically. We got the adventure tale Mountains of the Moon. So this is a tale of exploration, people trying to survey Africa, find lands, and just the journey of discovery. So if you like kind of like tales of discovery set in olden days, Mountains of the Moon, very much worth checking out. Another light-hearted Western, we have Doris Day and The Ballad of Josie. I'm a big Doris Day fan. If you are as well, you will want to check this one out. This was treated very nicely. Another kind of surprising 4K release is Below from David Towie. He's the director behind like Pitch Black and The Chronicles of Riddick. This was a submarine thriller that he did that kind of got buried. And it was a Miramax release. It's been rescued, been given a 4K presentation from the original camera negative, Dolby Vision presentation, some special features, very interesting horror thriller movie that was just kind of lost before this. Only the real ones knew. Another Western tale that I can recommend on the star power alone, we have California. Ray Milland, Barbara Stanwyck, those two are a reason to watch this one. Never pass up a Barbara Stanwyck movie. California is no different. We have the comedy For Love or Money with Kirk Douglas. So Kirk Douglas trying to help the daughters of a client get married to respectable suitors, and the comedy that ensues. You don't get to see Kirk Douglas in comedy situations very often, so take the chance when you can get it. You have Laura Dern in Rambling Roads. If you want to see Laura Dern kind of bucking what is expected from her in society, you'll have great success here. Love Laura Dern. She's one of my favorites. Great presentation. To join the Signs and Sixth Sense release from M. Night Shyamalan earlier that I spoke about, we have the 4K upgrade of The Visit. This is a newer Shyamalan film from Kino. This is making children afraid of their grandparents, because like what happens when you go to grandparents' house and something's a little bit off. 4K presentation treats this one very nicely. Leaving the land of Kino and going over to the world of Mill Creek, we have the re-release of The King of Queens, the complete series. This one is a very funny sitcom that I've always loved. I'm glad to get it on Blu-ray. All 9 seasons in high definition, special features. If you're a fan of this one, love the shelf-friendly packaging. Love that it's on Blu-ray. Great funny show with Kevin James. Also from Mill Creek, they've been doing their Icons on Earth release this year. There's a lot of great franchises like the Fast and the Furious and stuff, but the one that stuck out to me the most was The Simpsons. If you want to learn all the nitty-gritty details about The Simpsons history, this release will treat you well. Tons of additional special features and like interviews that were extended, like 6 hours of additional interviews. So check this one out if you're a Simpsons fan. Going over to RLJ Entertainment, not only one of my favorite horror films of the year, but one of my favorite films of the year is Oddity. This one really creeped me out in the best way. I've watched it twice within like 2 weeks. This one is so much fun for horror fans. It's very creepy. It's great. And then one that was finally released on Blu-ray after being released last year on streaming, When Evil Lurks. This one is very unsettling, gory, violent. Just it's great horror fun. When Evil Lurks. Fun might be the wrong word. It's disgusting but great and unsettling. Going over to Universal. Keep saying that like one of my favorite films of the year, but these are things that I am trying to recommend. So one of my favorite of the year is Dee Dee from Universal, Focus Features, coming of age tale, debuted at Sundance, loved it, still in like my top 10 of the year. Another fun release is Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders. So Jodie Comer, Tom Hardy, and Austin Butler's on biker gang drama, I quite enjoyed it. On the TV side of the equation, we had the Blu-ray release of Las Vegas, James Caan, Josh Duhamel, eventually Tom Selleck in the 5th season here. You have all 5 seasons of Las Vegas on Blu-ray. I can finally retire my DVDs, all kinds of special features and stuff. If you're a fan of this kind of soapy drama from the 2000s, you'll be glad to get it on Blu-ray. And heading over to Utopia, we have Rachel Sennett in I Used to Be Funny. This one can be a little bit heavy, but it's also very engaging, and Rachel Sennett is fantastic in this movie. It is about a woman overcoming sexual assault and trying to get back to her life, while a girl she used to babysit goes missing, and just all the kind of mystery around that. And very much worth checking out. Another highlight from the year. We also have The Sweet East from Sean Price Williams. This one's an interesting odyssey, just kind of a commentary on America. You have Ayo Edebiri in a small role, and just a lot of interesting people showing up. So The Sweet East, an interesting American odyssey for sure. Going over to Warner Brothers, we have the 4K debut of A Nightmare on Elm Street. What more can I say? Classic horror icon being treated on 4K. With the original mono and a Dolby Atmos track and HDR10. You have the DVD release, the complete series of Curb Your Enthusiasm. You got all 12 seasons of the series with Larry David, the HBO series, all in one convenient packaging. So if you're a Larry David fan, Curb Your Enthusiasm, the complete series on DVD is now available. You also have from HBO and Warner Brothers Veep, the complete series. So you have all 7 seasons in one packaging here of one of the funniest shows HBO has ever produced. On DVD, you have the complete franchise of Captain Planet and the Planeteers. If you want to teach the next generation how to save the planet, probably won't happen. Captain Planet, it's a fun series that also can be educational. So Captain Planet, a good one on DVD. One of the more exciting releases for me this year was the 4K upgrade. Friends, the complete series, all 10 seasons on 4K with a Blu-ray disc for special features. Love this in Dolby Vision, lossless audio, tons of special features. I love Friends, and if you do too, the 4K release is really solid. We also got the Blu-ray upgrade of The West Wing. So this is all 7 seasons of that series on Blu-ray. One of the best shows that on network television that has ever produced. West Wing on Blu-ray, worth checking out. We also got the complete collection of Super Friends on Blu-ray. So all the different iterations of the Super Friends. This is a dream come true for comic book fans. Lots of great stuff in here. So make sure to check that out if you're a fan of superhero shows. So many great ones in here. One of my favorite 4K discs from Warner Brothers this year was Twister. Love Twister, the original Twister. The sequel is also out from Universal, but I prefer the original Twister. Great Dolby Atmos track. 4K presentations, very nice. Hell of a disaster movie. Love it so much. We also got the 4K releases of a new animated 2-part event, Watchmen Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So if you wanted to see the original Alan Moore Watchmen material translated in animated form, this is basically a recreation of that. It's very great animation, interesting take on the tale, but it's very much worth checking out if you're a fan of the original source material and you want to see that translated in animated form. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of Watchmen does it quite well and very faithfully. Going over to Warner Archive, slightly different from Warner Brothers, we have the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice line, volumes 1 through 4. So this comprises the 4 volumes that have been individually released so far. The 4th volume is also just debuted individually. But you can get them all in one set. You can catch up on everything that's been released so far. Tons and tons of great Looney Tunes shorts, restored, looks great. These are some of my favorite releases from the Warner Archive. We also finally got the Blu-ray release, the Blu-ray debut of Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Alfred Hitchcock. This is Alfred Hitchcock in comedy mode, and this is a fantastic release of this film. We also, for superhero fans, got the Blu-ray release of The Flash, the original Flash from the 90s with John Wesley Shipp. This is a great presentation of this one season long show. You got all, I believe, 22 episodes here. Restored in HD, looking better than ever. Great release from Warner Archive. Also, another one knocked off the highly desired list from this year. You got a double feature of Scooby-Doo movies. So you got Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost and Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. You also got a 2-pack of Zombie Island and Return to Zombie Island, that if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, but this is the one I wanted to highlight because I like both of these features just as much. So Witch's Ghost and Alien Invaders, 2 Scooby-Doo tales in HD finally, worth checking out. One noir tale I wanted to highlight is The Man I Love. This one also doubles as a Christmas movie for half of its run. Great Ida Lupino joint. Just check it out. Just do it. We also saw Warner going more into the live action television space, restoration space this year. And I wanted to highlight The Alaskans with Roger Moore, the complete series of it. It's kind of a Western tale set in Alaska. Like Adventure of the Week, really great 4K restoration from the Warner Archive. You got like 30 something episodes here that comprises the original series. And they've done a really nice job on that. And finally, my final title overall is the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 set. So these are 10 Hanna-Barbera movies, newly in HD. You can buy these individually as well, but you get this nice shelf-friendly packaging, all 10 movies, which includes The Good, the Bad, and the Huckleberry Hound, The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, Rockin' with Judy Jetson, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, Scooby-Doo Meet the Boo Brothers, Top Cat and the Beverly Hills Cat, Yogi and the Invasion of the Space Bears, Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of the Spruce Goose, and Yogi's Great Escape. So 10 film from Warner Archive. It's a fantastic release for fans. Been treated very, very well. I believe I hit something for everyone. If you disagree, let me know. Let me know what type of person I did not hit. But there are so many just great titles waiting to be discovered, waiting to be given to the physical media fan in your life. I hope you saw something that you enjoyed. Let me know what you're planning on checking out, maybe for yourself or for someone else. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back to our normal run of program next week. But until then, happy holidays and enjoy these movies.
'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream.